Good morning. We are going to be talking about the latest immigration news. We have great news, and we are willing to share the great news. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for subscribing. Again, if you do not know me, my name is Bijoux Ngwanda. I'm an immigration lawyer based here in DC. I do work with individuals across the country and around the world because we're dealing with complex immigration cases. And if you have been watching my latest videos, it has been really hectic. Okay, so we're dealing with complex U.S. immigration cases, and if you need a consultation, because we try to answer some questions here, okay, but if you need a consultation with me, please call my office to 22751-2180. You can also email me, bijou.ngwandaesq@gmail.com. The email is here on display. And you can also just click the link below in the description box and schedule your own consultation on your own time. Consultation fees apply as usual, okay? So let's get right into it. I'm gonna share my screen so we can share the great news. Um, we really have great news. Let me share some of those great news. Um, yes, so the first news is that immigration help is available to those affected by natural disasters and other unforeseen circumstances, okay? So what USCIS is really helping with, okay? Basically, USCIS will be helping on a case-by-case basis. Upon request, you have to actually call them and submit your request. And what exactly they're helping with? They're helping with changing a non-immigrant status or extending a non-immigrant stay for an individual currently in the United States if you fail to apply for the extension or change before expiration of your authorized period of admission. So they may excuse the delay if the delay was due to extraordinary circumstances beyond your control. So you have to be able to prove too that really you failed to change the status or to extend your stay because something happened which was extraordinary and it was beyond your control. And that's really good because at least if they renew your stay or extend your stay, you are not going to accrue unlawful presence. And that really helps when it comes to adjusting status to employment, especially, or to a lawful permanent resident. Those type of things can help you in terms of adjusting status, okay? And they're doing parole of individual previously granted parole by USCIS. If you have been previously granted parole and then your parole expired and you couldn't renew it, again, due to extraordinary circumstances beyond your control, you can actually reapply. And they might really look into your request, case by case basis, okay? Expedite the processing for advanced parole request. This is huge, okay? Because I have some clients who are trying to actually go outside of the country because they have to get a visa from outside, and they try to ask for advanced parole. And the fact that USCIS is saying that it's going to expedite the processing for advanced parole due to circumstances beyond your control, especially if you have those type of H-1B visa, and the fiscal year is really going to start in October. And if you like, let's say you want to catch up with next year fiscal year, but we know that those advanced parole sometimes taking 14 months, but you can get an expedited request due to those type of circumstances if they approve your case, of course, and they can really get you that within 3 months, okay? That's really good if they're offering that themselves. And then expedited request, adjudication of request for off-campus employment authorization, F1 student experiencing severe economic hardship. You have to be able to prove severe economic hardship. Expedited adjudication of petition or applicant, including employment authorization application when appropriate. consideration of fee waiver request due to an ability to pay that they can consider, flexibility for those who receive a request for evidence or notice of intent to deny but were unable to submit evidence or otherwise respond in a timely manner. You know, with those notice of intent to deny or request for evidence, they're already giving extra time, right? But now they're saying even within that extra time, you still were not able to respond due to, again, extraordinary circumstances beyond your control. They can actually take that. Expedited replacement of lost or damaged immigration or travel document issued by USCIS, such as green cards, employment authorization document, even replacement of employment authorization document. They might consider expedited requests, rescheduling a biometric service appointment. So the thing that you miss due to circumstances beyond your control. So those are the things that they're helping with right now. You have to take advantage of it. Call them, make your request. You never know, it might be granted. You might get your thing expedited. Okay, just call them. You never know. It doesn't hurt to try because it's the phone call. You to expedited request is made by phone call, so you can just call them and then explain to them that you saw that they're available to help due to unforeseen circumstances. That's what they said. Okay. Then we go to the second news. DHS published final rule due to restore asylum regulation consistent with asylum works vacatur. So this is really major for asylum applicant. I'm going to go a little bit into the detail of this because we really want to help somebody this morning. Okay, we're going to help somebody this morning. So I already opened this page. This is what is happening with asylum. We know when Trump came into power, the rules around asylum completely changed. He changed the game of asylum forever. But now we're going back, pretty much back to where it used to be. First thing first, when the person applying for asylum, right? First of all, they have updated the form, right? Just go with the new edition to avoid any confusion. So they have updated I-589. They have updated I-765. Just go to the edition 72622. Those are the new edition, okay? So 72622. Just go with the new one because effective November 7, they will only take the new one. But to avoid any confusion, just go with the new versions. Anyway, so what's the biggest deal with that? The biggest deal with that, remember that we were supposed to be waiting for 365 days before applying for a work permit. Now they went back the way it used to be. You can request a work authorization after 150 days after you file for asylum application. That's the way it used to be before Trump. That's the way they went back to it. 150 days. Okay, you might file a form I-765 based on your pending asylum application 150 days after you file your asylum application. Okay, you are not eligible to receive employment document until your asylum application has been pending for a total of 180 days. Okay, but you can already file right by 150. And the 180 eligibility period, that's when really your clock starts for employment authorization. So having said that, we go back to the employment authorization. You're no longer required to pay the $85 biometric fees. And basically, you have to receive your and you're not required to answer that question about port of entry, especially for asylum, because asylum people get here without inspection sometimes. So you're no longer to respond to that. And then you might granted authorization to work even if you did not file your asylum within 1 year of entering the US. So basically, we're just going back to the way it used to be. Because remember, with Trump, the game of us around asylum changed forever, but we went back. This is actually something good that this administration has done. To be honest, this entire administration, that's the only thing, to be honest with you, that done correctly, to be honest. So, and then eligibility criteria related to certain criminal acts and conviction are no longer applicable. Even with some crimes, they're kind of like a little bit lenient to it. Okay, so it says that the now vacated asylum AD who prevent asylum applicants who were convicted of certain criminal offenses, convicted of particular serious crime, or committed serious non-political crime from receiving employment. However, because the court vacated AD rule, only aggravated felony conviction will make you ineligible for employment authorization. It has to be aggravated felony. Just a simple felony will not prevent you from getting an employment authorization card. That's what it's saying. If USCIS denies your asylum application, your AD will not automatically terminate on the date we deny your application. So on your asylum application will terminate 60 days after the denial. So they're even giving you time so that you can figure out what you're going to be doing, okay? You might again renew your employment authorization if you file timely appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeal. That decision remains pending. You're still going to be able to work because you will be filing for renewal of authorization of employment. And then the 30 days, they have to process your employment card within 30 days. That's what we've been dealing with, right? But you have to fight for this. This 30 days is not a given. I have asylum applicants. We file for EAD. First time, of course, first time, not renewal. We're talking about first time applicant of AD with asylum case, not marriage, not anything else, asylum only. They have to give you within 30 days, but they're not doing it. You have to fight for it. We got ours within 60 days. Not bad. And we're still fighting for one. Another one got lost. We're still fighting for it. So you have to get your work authorization after 30 days for apply. Basically, if you go with this new rule, it has to be the case is pending for I-180 days. You can already apply by 150 days, but the case has to be pending for 180 days for you to be counting the days of work permits, right? And then 30 days after 180 days, you should get your work permit. If you don't get it, call them until they give it to you. So you really have to read this because it's really good. That this is really great news for asylum applicants, first time, of course. So then we go back to another news is that, yeah, USCIS has to implement the next phase of premium processing for certain previously EB1 and EB2 form I-140 who have been so successful with EB1 and EB2. By the way, if you feel like you qualify, you can refer to my other videos when it comes to EB1, EB2 self-sponsored green card. And now that they're processing premium processing for those type of petition, it looks like it's going to be going faster than ever right now. So beginning September 15, 2022, they will accept I-907 requests, which means premium processing fees for those forms. Okay, E13 multinational for those type of petitions. Sorry, E13 multinational executive and manager position receive on or before January 1st, 2022, and E21 national interest waiver petition received on or before February 1st, 2022. So they're taking premium processing for those. Like you pay additional fees for your case to be decided within 15 days, calendar days. So great. Yeah, USCIS has reached the cap for H2B for this first half of FY fiscal year 2023. Okay. And DHS, this is good too, because DHS publishes fair and human public charge. Remember that this was going all over the planet. I have to click on this one. When Trump came into power, even public charge, this rule wasn't, it's an old rule, right? That you're not supposed to become a public charge to this government. But when Trump came into power, he was really using it so strictly that a lot of people seeing themselves being denied those green card benefits, those immigration benefits when it comes to green card. So now what's going on is that this administration is now really looking at public charge rule as strict as Trump was looking at it. So in other words, if you're low income family, you're not really going to be denied benefit because you have used public charge before. So you have used public benefits before. So you're not going to be denied immigration benefits just because of that. That's basically what they're saying. Okay. So yeah, this is the public charge. It's more fair, humane. That's what we're going to follow when it comes to adjusting status or cancel processing when it comes to Form I-864. Okay, so we go back here, and then again, the Form I-589, I-765 has been, we have the new edition. Just go with this new edition. That's all I have to say about that. Then there's this came out in September, but anyway, there is a registration process for current Venezuela temporary protected status beneficiary has happened since September 7. And then we have USCIS extend employment authorization for individual covered by DE for Liberia. So they're extending authorization for them as well in terms of work permit. I believe those are the newest, because if we go to September, we already, yeah, USCIS resumed Cuban family reunification parole program operations. So under Cuba, we know that people can get into the US under this parole. So now they start back to it again. Okay. Yeah, I need to click on this one. This is huge too. Remember, we had the reunification for Haiti, and now the reunification for Cuban family has started. The program has started. You can read more of it. If you feel qualified, you can apply, because they open it again. So those are the greatest news for this week as far as this month is concerned, unless something else comes up in November. Next month or in October, we'll talk more about politics in terms of those midterms coming up in November, what the Republicans are saying about their plan on immigration and what the Democrats are saying. But we already know that the Democrats are pretty much going to be losing control of the House, and they have to fight at least for Senate. If they lose it, that's it. Then we're going to really go with the Republican plan. So we'll talk about it more in October. But for now, this was the greatest, really the greatest news, latest great news of immigration. I want to talk about some, let me talk about some stuff. People actually ask me some questions on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page. I want to talk about those questions. I only have like 2 questions. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to try to answer some questions here. Okay. I'm a business administration. Oh, this 6 weeks ago, this I've already answered that. I had one question. Okay, this one. My wife and I would like to immigrate to the US. Where in the world do we start to understand which visa option is best for us? What are the first things we should do to get the ball rolling? This is really a vague, or let's say broad question, not vague, but broad question. So the way I'm going to answer this question is this. First of all, do you want to immigrate temporarily, or do you want to come for like to stay here, right? In order to stay in America, right, you have to have a proper visa. Either it's a work visa, or it's a humanitarian visa, or it's basically it's family-based type of petition. But in your case, I'm not really consider family because your entire family looks like it's back home, right? We're gonna go with more work. If you're coming for work, there's a lot of ways. If you qualify for EB1 or EB2, you can apply on your own merit for a green card. You have to refer back to our videos when it comes to self-sponsor green card. If you have an employer that is willing to petition for you, that's H-1B visa. You have to talk to the employer, meet the qualification, and the employer has to sponsor you, and then you get the visa from outside. Or if you try to exchange from a company that you're currently working in your hometown and come here, that's another story too. That's where people go with L1, those type of executive type of visa. But if you're just coming with a visitor visa, remember that visitor visa, you cannot misrepresent, right? You come to visit and go back. But let's say you come and you visit and you can't go back due to fear of persecution. At that point, you apply for asylum and hope that it gets granted. And then eventually you will be working, and eventually you get your green card and later on citizenship. So that's really broad, right? That's at least how I can direct you on that question. So that's it. And those other people, I believe we already answered this question long time ago. So that's it. That was the only question that I really wanted to answer. I believe that's it for now. Let me stop sharing. Yes, we have covered all the latest immigration news. We have covered a lot of things. You can watch this video until the end. Let me know in the comment below. Until next time, bye-bye.